I don't think tier lists were meant to be used in this way. But this is the Battle Royale of Minecraft mobs. Because I decided I wanted to make that. So those fans are too cute. So, no. Snow. And the silverfish and enderman are just tiny bugs. You could argue then bee and spider would go here too, but Minecraft bees and spiders are way bigger than the real world equivalent. And the parrot is just a tiny bird, and bat is just a tiny poison. No, they're not poisonous. They just give way too many diseases. Mammal, flying mammal, yeah. It's just a tiny flying mammal. And then tropical fish and cod are, yeah. Then chicken is, what do we? 120 villagers are passive. Most passive mobs go pretty fast. Most. Pig and sheep, yeah. Same thing. And then creepers are very powerful. The problem is they can only do their only attack once. So, that's not good for them in a battle royale at all. And by the way, nothing in this battle royale gets a companion. No teams. And there's only one of every mob. I don't care if they do better in groups. So, salmon? Explanation for not being gone immediately, instead just being in not surviving one tier. It's a bigger fish. I don't know. And then cows are, I mean, they have horns. But other than that, same as sheep and pig. Squid is, I mean, they have ink. Glow squid is, they have glowing ink. And then goats, their ramming attack is really powerful. But it's not that powerful, and they use it very the opposite of frequently. Zombies are the most basic hostile mob, so they're not getting that far. And zombie villagers is the exact same thing, aside from design. Husks. I mean, also there's water in this battle royale. And a roof. So nothing burns in the sunlight. It's like a big lake in the middle of just a coliseum that has a roof. Imagine that. That's what this is. So husks not burning in daylight does not become an advantage for them. At all. And then drowned. They could survive with water. Yay. Then bees can sting. The poison doesn't last long for them. Same for pufferfish hunts, but it's not that powerful. They're both weak. And then shulkers. What is a shulker made of? The middle part looks like rock, and the shell is purple. Probably. I think did I question this in the last video? Whatever. Shulker shells aren't that tough, and They can make stuff float. Yay. And then spiders are decently advanced mobs. Decently powerful mobs. Not. Whatever. Skeletons. They're ranged. Vexes are on the one Vex is not that powerful, but then again, they do have an iron sword and are pretty fast and small. So, yeah. Now, zombie penguin. I don't know what my reason was. I was for getting them to survive longer than ground husk, zombie villager, and zombie. But I'm just gonna out here. Whatever. I'm not moving them. Llama and Trader Llama are the exact same thing. And they do have spit. They use it pretty fast, I guess. Speaking of Llama and Trader Llama, they're one of 5 horse things besides skeleton horse and zombie horse, who are later in this tier of down earliest. And then camel, because camels are really cute in Minecraft. But yeah, those horse things are they're all the same. Horses can kick, I suppose. Minecraft horses cannot, by the way. They can't do anything. They're horses, so they're tough. Yeah, they're all going up basically at the same time. Cave spiders. Are yeah, just spider, but they also poison you. So then we've got a big one, which is they've got a golden sword, and yeah. So then creaking, they hit pretty hard. They're made of wood, so that's gotta be tough, right? And Stray is just slow in skeleton. Man, I really wish Stray were more unique as a Tundra skeleton instead of just an effect. Like, I get that Swoons is the closest effect to Tundra E, but they just don't. It doesn't feel icy at all. Anyway, bogged poison arrows, so that's cool. That's actually a pretty useful arrow effect. So then there's the skeleton horse and zombie horse, which are hostile when ridden versions of the horse, donkey, mule, well, all the horse things. These have the spinning fence. Yeah. And then Pillager is their axe is pretty strong, I guess. And then Vindicate. They have a crossbow. They could shoot from a distance, kind of powerful. There's the enemy. They teleport. They're kind of powerful. That's it. And then there's oh yeah, more context. Slime and Magma Cube are big. Wait, the largest size in this battle. So Slime gets a respectable spot, which is actually the middle tier. Basically. And then Vindicator is I mean, they have an iron axe. That's pretty powerful. With skeleton, the wither effect is probably the strongest effect in the game. And they have a stone sword, which isn't much, but yeah. Then hoglins are very large, hostile pigs with tusks. And guardians are spiked laser shooting things of destruction. Moving on into actually far tier. I almost said team. What? Which they can throw potions that are actually pretty powerful. They're the only mob in the game that can heal themselves. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Anyway, Piglin brutes are very powerful. If you've ever been to the Nether, and if you've ever been to a bastion, a Nether bastion in Minecraft, you know what I mean. And then iron golems are iron golems. They're kind of fast. They do a lot of damage, and they have a lot of health. And the breeze knocks everything back too much. Ghasts occasionally shoot very powerful fireballs of doom unless you're the player. In which case, there's still fireballs of doom, just to the ghast who shot them. Because you're gonna deflect the fireball, probably. Unless you have a skill issue. Like me. And then evokers. There's 3 exceptions to the rule of none of the same mod. Glow Squid and Squid are effectively the same. Llama and Trader Llama are effectively the same. And the Evokers, one of their entire mechanics is summoning Vexes. So, yeah. And then they can also summon the Crocodile Jaw things, which are very cool. I like those a lot. They're awesome. Awesome attack. But that's it. Anyway, blazes. Oh, yes. Skeletons. Missed a lot in blazes. Feel like they have aimbot. According to people. Some. That may or may not be outdated. And will cause people to maybe think that. I don't even know, actually. Yeah, I'm just pretty sure. Might have been updated and fixed. If it was a bug, then fixed. But if it wasn't, then I guess just updated would be the right term. Whatever. I just wanted to put the blades pretty high up on this tier list. Then the mega powerful tier. Zoglin. They attack everything. And then magma cubes. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. The main reason magma cubes and blazes is near the top are just, I like fire. I'm a little bit biased. Fire is very cool. There's also a little bit of bias that made me choose the winner in this. And also, this tier list wouldn't follow exactly how the mobs work in the vanilla game. So, please don't hate me. You gain nothing from it, and you're not, and well, my feelings are probably gonna get hurt. Anyway, Phantom, they could just fly above everything and fly above everything. The final 5. Elder Guardian. Pretty tough. One fatigue doesn't matter because one of you've seen any mobs mine. Closest you'll get is Enderman picking up blocks. Anyway, the Warden. The Warden attacks they attack everything. The Warden. They attack everything. Yeah, it's the same thing as the Zoglin. Now the Ravager. I just need to put something else there, and Zoglin felt like it should go at the bottom of Mega Powerful. I don't know, it just did. Ravager worked the best. And then the Wyver is the Wyver, and then Victorious. You can already see it. It's the Ender Dragon. The bias there is dragons are cool. I like cool things. Bias is also the reason in these 5, 2, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. These 20 or Ben are not in the Battle Royale, or else they would just be the top 20 in no particular order. Or because they're too cute. So I just put them there. And yeah. Also, I didn't make the tier list, I just heavily modified its tiers. Because you can do that. All of this little gear button. Anyway, yeah. I wrote a story that was this. So that's cool. Hold on. Alright. Yeah. I wrote it in the notes app. Ravager steps on Silverfish and Endermite. They're crushed. Gone. Wood. Bad. They're actually bump into each other. It's still better to be gone. Gone. Guardian shoots a laser, and the cotton tropical fish are in 2 halves each. The chicken gets kicked by the villager and just dies. That might have been a little but whatever. And Creeper. A couple things are gone from that. And then the salmon tries to hide. as the guardians swim past. But okay. Same height as the guardians swim past, and still get stabbed with his blades without them noticing. Poor salmon. Cow and goat ram into each other. Yeah. Cow has horns, goat rams into stuff. Sure. On accident, by the way. So, yeah. And the goat quickly revives the cow. Obviously, the goat's only attack is ramming, and the cow gets knocked into the water. The elder guardian is currently aboard raping the squid and the glow squid down there. And then also the cow, without even noticing. The spider pounces on the goats, by the way, and quickly defeats it. But then gets attacked by the zombie and tackles the zombie on its face. Tackles defeating it too. The zombie villager and Husk punts Apischover. I was pretty tired when writing this. And it's kind of evident by that. Punch each other, but eventually the Husk headbutts the zombie villager up. Fall damage finishes the zombie villager off. But then the ground grabs the Husk by the foot and drags it into the water. The Husk drowns. It does not become drowned because it's not a Zoemonambi. Okay. Then the drowned is tackled by the guardian, and the bee is splashed by the Husk being pulled underwater and falls into the water too. Getting puffed by the pufferfish. Oh, my bad. Wufferfish, who knocks themselves back onto the guardian on accident. Because they puffed up in fear and pushed themselves back to the water. Yeah. Back on land, the shulker gets pounced on by the spider, but wants a pellet that makes the spider levitate first. Look before the spider lands. So the spider's just lifted into the air helplessly as the says. Then the Zoglin rips the shulker's rips the top half of the shulker's shell off and slams it down on the rest of the shulker, turning it into a pile of purple and stone, which is all cracked or destroyed while just running past. I made the Zoglin a monster in this. And then the levitating weighs on the spider falls from behind it, just barely can't survive. The skeleton's arrows. The skeleton has been shooting this whole time. The story just didn't tell you because it didn't want to, and I made the whole thing up as I went. So the skeleton's arrows just all missed too. That's not another reason. And the skeleton gets rammed into by the Zoglin and just collapses into bits. And then the Zoglin jumps to do that and eats the Vex while doing it. And the zombie piglin gets spat at by the llama and treat the llama until they die. But those llamas, the ones the horse and dog, get hit by 2 gas fireballs and explode. They explode, yeah, bye, rip. The mule gets pounced on by the cave spider, succumbing to its poison quickly. And the cave spider is charged at by the piglin, whose gold sword slams the rocks that the cave spider leaves off of, tackling the big one, who then punches the spider off and pulls the sword out of the ground, slicing into the spider's side before being bitten again and then wrapped in web, left to suffocate. But before dying, they throw the golden sword straight into the cave. You spider as it walks away. As it walks away. The iron golem uppercuts the creaking thrice. If you don't know that word, too bad. It seems pretty self-explanatory to me, and defeats it before getting shot by the stray. Getting swallowed. Which means the stray can run. Toward the warden hears it and Sonic booms it to dust. One Sonic boom. And then also the Bogged, who was behind the stray and manages to shoot one arrow, poisoning the warden. The poison doesn't even do much. Oh, there was no planning to... And yeah, the poison doesn't even do much. Then the zombie horse and skeleton horse ran into each other. Moveretto, skeleton horse, but that was just bones. Being out back, but then jumps over the zombie horse and one of its sharp bones slices a piece of the zombie horse off. The zombie horse kicks the skeleton horse onto the ground. And with its back legs, the skeleton horse is behind the zombie horse. And then the skeleton horse immediately gets up, jumps behind the zombie horse, his next attack, and rams it underwater with the Elder Guardian. Shows a laser, launching it into the sky, where it explodes. Which I now realize I'm not gonna say anything. And then the Enderman teleports in front of it, and it gets pushed into the water by an arrow, starting to die. But they swim further into the ground before fully sinking underwater. I know the Enderman would just teleport out of the water. So I was too lazy to do that. So the Enderman just dies as soon as it gets pushed into water. And then the Hogwood and Zogwood ran into each other. Over splitting the slime in two on their way. I completely forgot about those two smaller slimes. Yeah, let's ignore that. And the Hogwood is overpowered, but then rams the Zogwood up and stomps on them after they land. All of the Zogwood then slams the Hogwood slams into the air, whatever, and they come crashing down on their feet. But the Zogwood bites a chunk out of them and rams their head off their neck. Oof. Bye, Meanwhile, the Vindicator cuts into the Liver Skeleton's side, but gets stabbed by them, given the Liver effect. The Vindicator then gets hurt by the Liver effect and first directs into the Liver Skeleton's head before getting hurt by the Liver effect and then punches the Vindicator, the Liver Skeleton onto the ground. Also then fists into the Liver Skeleton before getting hit by the Liver effect. Until then manages to get their stuff. And so again cut the Vindicator in half right after the Vindicator gets hurt by the Liver effect again. The axe on the Liver Skeleton's head nails them to the ground though, and so just like them collapse into few different bones. So that's bad for the Liver Skeleton. Then the Elder Guardian finally gets to the Guardian. It was chasing it it just caught up. Logic, it's bigger but slower. It's bigger and therefore slower. And then they blast up their laser. Guardian leaps out of the water, tail whipping the Elder Guardian on the way back down, blasting their own laser, but the Elder Guardian blasts again, and guess what? Laser's strong, and the Guardian swims through the laser very epically and swings, and then rams under the Elder Guardian. Doing decent damage with the spikes. The Elder Guardian is just a bigger Guardian. Fun fact, Guardians are apparently stupid Because then the Guardian gets stabbed by the Elder Guardians, but it's at the same time, obviously. And just by Elder Guardian wins, what do you think would happen? Meanwhile, a potion is thrown, harming the Penguin Brute, who charges for the potion. Uppercuts and uppercuts the witch with both the golden axes. They don't usually have two now that I think about it, but whatever. Which heals and leaps over the Penguin Brute, throwing a potion of poison at the Penguin Brute and ducking under the next attack for poison them further. The Penguin Brute runs through it still and chops the witch's arm off. The witch drinks a healing potion and teleports. How? Their arm's still gone, but they throw another harming potion, which is kicked back at their face. And said face is soon covered in cuts from the Penguin Brute's two golden axes. Then the Phantom swoops down. He's just been flying in place above everything this whole time. Then he slams the Penguin Brute's face into the ground with a scratch. And says the Penguin Brute is very interested in fighting with the witch. That's why the Phantom wins here. Witch axes are knocked out of their hands before the Phantom grabs the Hylians and drops them from 30 blocks in the air, defeating them. Yeah, they're Hylians, whatever. And the Iron Golem gets blown off a cliff by the Wait, can Iron Golems get knocked back? Oh, they can't. Can they? Whatever. By the Breeze, who dodges gas fireballs constantly after one hits them before slamming through, blasting the gas down. Tries to start flying back up after getting knocked down, but gets blasted by more wind charges, slamming them into the ground, and then the gas dies. And then the boys incinerates the Breeze from behind. I wanted to give them a whole epic fight, but I was really just too lazy. And then the boys burns the Evoker, walking Boardwalk crisp instantly. Just what he did with the Breeze, and then gets exploded by Wither Skulls. So, rip. And then on the ground, Zargon rams into the Warden. But gets punched into the ground with extreme force, but then gets up and slams the Warden against a wall of rocks. The Warden wants the Sonic Boom doing extreme damage, but the Zargon bites the Warden's entire foot off, pouncing towards their head, and then slicing pieces of it off with the tusks. They get grabbed by the Warden and slammed against the stone War Fist, finally destroying the absolute menace that the Zargon has been. This is taking so long to read. The Ravager then grabs the magma cube into the water where it turns to stone, because that's how lava and water work in Minecraft. Sometimes. Whether it's cobblestone, stone, or obsidian feels basically random, even though I know it's not. Anyway, Phantom flies above. And gets swallowed whole by the Ender Dragon who soars past it and then lands 5 mobs left. The Wither blasts the Ravager, who is hurt, but uses it as a boost to wham the Wither down powerfully. But use it as a boost to get up and to launch off the ground. Yeah. The other Guardian wants the laser at the Warden. He's going for Sonic Boom. Before one blast overpowers the other, the Ender Dragon grabs the Warden and slams it against the ground. And before sliding across rocks over the Ravager bites into it and gets punched away. The Ender Dragon flies up and floods the entire battlefield in purple flames, damaging literally everything except the Wither, who floats above the Ender Dragon and rams the dragon back down. The dragon tail whips the river to the side and disappears from sight. As the warden sonic booms, the Ravager away before they fully ram its arm off. The warden leaps forward, being slammed onto the ground before grabbing the Ravager in a chokehold and getting tripped before its head is stomped on by the nearly suffocated Ravager. While the Ravager is still recovering from that, the warden's sonic boom was off the ground, wanting the Ravager to both take fall damage, and the warden stops the charge from the Ravager with his hands before one being bitten in the warden, no longer able to stop the Ravager's charge. He's pushed underwater. The warden can't swim. The sonic boom launches out of the water, and as bubbles come out from the warden drowning, the Elder Guardian's head floats onto the shore, which isn't really there because that's just the Colosseum, but we're gonna ignore that. And yeah, those two are dead. The Ravager's been exploded by the Wyvern, who is tackled by the dragon and slammed into the ground forever by a stream of purple flames from the dragon's jaws. Final fight started. But the Wyvern rams the dragon to the side, wanting to scold her. The dragon's injured by the explosions. So tiring to keep reading. But then what? What am I? Huh? But the river rams the dragon to the side, wanting to scold. His head butted against the wall, that's scratched down. The river gets up and blasts the dragon. The dragon's injured by the explosion and then rammed underground by the river, whose head butted against the wall and scratched down. The river gets up and blasts the dragon almost out of the cave. The dragon starts flying and gets bitten, being slammed back underground, and some purple flames of the river hose bursted out from the ground before exploding the Ender Dragon against the boulder. No, the Ender Dragon does not explode to bits. I just didn't know whatever word to use there. As she flies up, the wolf charges forward, and its left head is ripped off. Blasts the dragon moved his tail against the ground and bounced up. Well, the dragon headbutts it into the sky and scratches it when the wolf's rib is off before screaming purple flames launches it into the sky as it roars in pain before exploding and being defeated. And the dragon wins. Yeah. Now I'm going to talk about this part. Let's see if I can find it. When the zombie horse gets rammed by the water and the Elder Guardian shoots away the launching into the sky and then it explodes, yeah. I'm now realizing that subtly foreshadows the ending with Ender Dragon beats the river, but it wasn't even intended when it exploded. But it happened. I have 10 stories written or in the process of being written in the Notes app on my device. You will never see all of them. Well, or maybe will. I don't really know. I can't predict the future. Bye.